Recording. Let me fix this. Let me fix this first. Okay. Is this it? Yup. Alright. What is up, guys? It's your boy, Mo. Now, today we're back in another reaction video. I know the video is coming a little bit late today. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing a lot of shit all day. So, my bad. You know what I'm saying? But actually, I don't gotta apologize to y'all, bro. Y'all know a nigga be doing a lot of shit. Like, I ain't even making it in this YouTube shit yet. For me to be, you know what I'm saying, like, apologizing for missed days and shit. I'm just now trying to make it. But anyways, though, today we're back to a video called The Worst Pop Star Deaths Ever. Now, if y'all know any pop stars, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't know a lot about pop stars, you know what I'm saying? I only know about the king of pop, which is Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really know what pop is for real. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a style of music, but I don't know in all who has something to do with it, basically. That's all I'm saying. It's not I don't know what pop is, I just don't know who are all pop stars. I know everyone makes music, but I don't know what category everyone goes in. Except for, like, if it's clear. You know what I'm saying? But damn, that's some good ass water. I ain't even gonna lie. Yo, the workout today was crazy. And why am I just now figuring out you can drink creatine before you go to bed, bro? I did not know that shit. I thought I really had to drink that shit before I go to the gym. So that joint been sitting in my closet for I don't know how long, and it been drying up and all that, and it been turning into a hard little concrete type of substance. I don't really know how to explain that shit to you. I don't even know if you could call that substance, but it been hard in that closet for like a long minute. So, and I be having to scrape it to get it all out. Like, it's crazy, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. But since I know that, we finna drink it. And I'm happy I just found it out too early. Or too soon. Not too soon, but yeah. Let's just stop talking and get into the video, you know what I'm saying? I really noticed these intros be way too long. Let's get into the video. I'm really curious on what this video is actually going to be about. I know what it's supposed to be about, but I don't know what's going to be in the video and who's going to be in the video. Let's start it.
Liam Payne. On October 16th, 2024, 31-year-old Liam Payne checked into the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The former One Direction member had been in Argentina attending a concert by his former band.
Yo, One Direction is really ball knowledge, bro. That is really ball knowledge. Like, I remember hearing it, like, the first time I ever heard their song was when I was in kindergarten. That's like 13 plus years ago. Damn. Actually, was it 13 plus years ago? Hell yeah, that was 13 plus years ago. The first time I heard their song, it was like, I don't remember what that joint was. But bro, my principal used to turn that joint every Friday, and we used to go into they used to have, our cafeteria was basically like, it was a space where we ate lunch and we had recess at. Like, I'm not gonna say our school was like, the funds was low. It wasn't. It really wasn't. Like, the school was like newly built. I know that. But yeah, that's what happened. And we basically just used to use, like, it's a lot of schools where, like, they use the cafeteria as a place for recess and all that. Like, even the second school I went to in middle school, it was called Kearney. Like, when I went in there, I would see little, like, planks on the walls and shit. And somebody basically said that those used to be the basketball courts, basically. And that was in the cafeteria. They used to use the cafeteria as a gym until they got an actual gym, and I was there when they had an actual gym. So, yeah.
Niall Horan. That afternoon, hotel staff became increasingly concerned about Payne's behavior in his third-floor room. Around 5 p.m., the hotel
I just peeped, bro. A lot of shit I be talking about be off topic, bro. I need to stop doing this shit.
In the recorded
You
911
just come back
call,
to this
the
shit
manager
yapping.
frantically reported that a guest was overwhelmed by drugs and alcohol and was destroying the room. The manager specifically expressed fears because the room had a balcony. Just minutes after that call, at approximately 5:07 p.m., a loud crash was heard in the hotel's interior courtyard. Liam Payne had fallen from his third-floor balcony. He landed in the courtyard below. Emergency responders arrived within minutes, but Payne was pronounced dead at the
That's
scene
crazy.
from multiple traumatic injuries sustained in the fall. When police entered Payne's hotel room, they found a chaotic scene. The television had been smashed. Aluminum foil, white powder, and drug paraphernalia were scattered around the room. A half-drunk glass of champagne sat on a table. The room showed clear signs of a struggle or violent episode. Investigators determined that Payne had been alone in the room when he fell. Toxicology reports would later reveal the presence of multiple substances in his system. The exact circumstances of how he went over the balcony remained under investigation. The death shocked the music world. One Direction had been one of the biggest pop groups of the 2010s, and Payne had millions of fans.
I was trying to tell y'all.
Payne's former bandmates issued statements expressing their devastation.
Damn, so they had to be like 3 years in when I was in kindergarten. Like, that's when they really start, like, that's kind of like, I don't
Hotel
know.
balcony fall became one of the most discussed celebrity deaths in recent years, raising questions about hotel safety protocols and the dangers faced by celebrities struggling with substance abuse. Michael Jackson. On June 25, 2009, 50-year-old Michael Jackson was at his rented mansion in Los Angeles, preparing for his This Is It comeback.
Bro, Michael Jackson not even the worst one. He died peacefully, bro. Think about it.
Jackson had been struggling with insomnia for years and had employed a personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, to help him sleep. Around 12 p.m., Jackson was in his bedroom, receiving his daily treatment. Murray was administering propofol, a powerful anesthetic used in surgical procedures, through an intravenous drip. Jackson called it his milk because of its milky white appearance. This wasn't a sleeping pill. Propofol is what anesthesiologists use to render patients unconscious for surgery.
Bro,
What you doing, bro?
nobody give a fuck about whatever you talking about, bro.
Murray had been giving Jackson nightly propofol infusions for weeks so he could sleep. That day,
Bro,
after
if it's used for him to be put unconscious, that means he died peacefully, bro. He wasn't even conscious enough to actually know what happened to him.
administering the propofol and other sedatives, Murray left Jackson alone in the bedroom to make phone calls. When he returned, Jackson wasn't breathing. Murray began CPR and called for help, but precious minutes had been lost. Paramedics arrived and transported Jackson to UCLA Medical Center. Doctors worked for over an hour trying to revive him. Michael Jackson was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. from cardiac arrest caused by acute propofol intoxication.
Oh.
The news broke online and literally crashed the internet.
Damn.
Twitter, Wikipedia, and AOL.
Wait. So, is cardiac arrest a peaceful death or is it not? Like, that's really my question. 'Cause isn't it basically you are just giving out and then you just going unconscious?
Messenger.
I don't
All
think that was the worst
experienced
death.
outages as millions tried to access information simultaneously. Dr. Conrad Murray was later convicted of involuntary manslaughter for administering the propofol in a home setting without proper monitoring equipment. Jackson's death revealed the extreme lengths he had gone to in pursuit of sleep, essentially undergoing surgery every night in his bedroom. Lisa Left Eye Lopez. On April 25, 2002, 30-year-old Lisa Lopez was driving a Mitsubishi Montero SUV on a highway in La Ceiba, Honduras. Lopez, known as Left Eye from the Grammy-winning group TLC, was in Honduras.
Yo! Alright, so I ain't gonna lie. I remember hearing that story back in the day and I felt so bad for her. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't even notice who that was, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And I was like, damn. Somebody did die from that little group.
On a spiritual documentary and recording music. She had brought cameras to document her journey of self-discovery and healing. Several passengers were in the vehicle with her, and a camera was rolling from the passenger seat, capturing their road trip. As Lopez drove along the highway, another vehicle appeared ahead in her lane. Lopez swerved to avoid a collision. The sudden maneuver caused her SUV to lose control. The Montero rolled multiple times across the roadway. The camera continued recording as the vehicle tumbled, capturing chaotic images of the interior spinning before the screen went black. Lisa Lopez died instantly from severe...
Wait. I got a question though, right? Is this actually a... I'm really just trying to figure out, do they have that video, like, for us to actually see? Footage? It sound like they have footage, bro. Oh, they do. They do. Y'all look. Wait. Where the camera at? They do. It's right there at the top, bro. That's the footage. I feel like that would be on Reddit or something like that. For some apparent reason, I feel like that shit would be on Reddit. Cause like it's so violent. Like
Your neck and head injuries sustained in the crash. Her passengers survived with various injuries. When the footage was recovered, it showed Lopez at the wheel just seconds before the fatal crash. The existence of video documentation of her final moments made the tragedy particularly haunting. But there was another layer to the story. Weeks before her own death, Lopez had been a passenger in a van that struck and killed a 10-year-old boy in Honduras. She had been deeply affected by the accident, paying for the boy's funeral and speaking to his family. In conversations recorded before her death, Lopez had expressed a belief that a spirit or curse was following her. She felt the boy's death was a warning or sign. Then, on a highway just weeks later, she died in a vehicle accident herself. TLC had been working on a comeback, and Lopez's death meant the group could never fully reunite. Her surviving bandmates were devastated.
We definitely see that. I ain't even bro, that got it, bro. They got some good hits though. I ain't even gonna lie. They got some good hits. They love music.
Released out of respect for
I'm kind of mad about that.
But its existence has fueled ongoing fascination with her final days in Honduras.
But some shit,
Aaliyah.
But I ain't gonna lie, some shit need to be left in the past, and that's a bunch of good moments that need to be left over there. Good songs and shit. Man.
2001. 22-year-old Aaliyah finished filming a music video in the Bahamas.
That's the death they said that Diddy was behind right here.
The video for her single "Rock the Boat" on the island of Abaco. The shoot had wrapped, and her team was preparing to return to Florida. A small twin-engine Cessna 402B had been chartered to fly Aaliyah and her crew back to the United States. However, the team had accumulated significant equipment and luggage during the video shoot. Everyone wanted to leave that day rather than wait for a larger aircraft. Around 6:45 p.m., Aaliyah and 8 others boarded the small plane at Marsh Harbor Airport. The pilot was 30-year-old Luis Morales III. The Cessna began its...
He looked like he hired by Diddy. I don't even know, man.
Off, but immediately struggled to gain altitude. Within seconds, the aircraft crashed just 200 feet from the end of the runway.
Bro, I know I'm pausing the video too much, but I just want to make this known, right? They said that they had a 300-pound nigga or whoever. It was a girl or some shit. It was... just know it was a 300-pound woman that was on that exact plane too, bro. And that's why I struggled to go up.
Into the ground and bursting into flames.
And they died.
All 9 people aboard died.
Basically, what happened was she refused to go in there because of that, and they forced her to get on. So they drugged her and all that.
Investigations into the crash revealed a cascade of negligence. The aircraft had been loaded with approximately 700 pounds more weight than its maximum capacity. The team's insistence
and then plus the big ass nigga, bro,
doomed the flight before it began. Additionally, toxicology tests showed the pilot had cocaine and alcohol in his system at the time of the crash. Records revealed that Luis Morales was not properly certified to fly the Cessna 402B. He had lied about his qualifications. The plane itself had questionable maintenance records. Every factor that could go wrong had gone wrong. Aaliyah's death at 22 robbed the music world of one of its brightest rising stars. She had just completed filming the Matrix sequels and was at the peak of her career. Had anyone insisted on waiting for proper equipment, a certified pilot, or a larger aircraft, Aaliyah would have lived. Instead, impatience and negligence killed everyone aboard. Randy Rhoads.
Hey, what can we say though? You know what I'm saying? That's God. That's what that all is. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason.
March 19, 1982, 25-year-old Randy Rhoads was on tour with Ozzy Osbourne.
You know who you are. You're the person that never fit in. You're the person that everybody says it's good enough, you say no.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
Traveling through Florida on the band's tour bus, Rhoads was one of rock's most talented young guitarists, having revitalized Osbourne's solo career with his virtuoso playing. The tour bus stopped overnight at a property in Leesburg, Florida, owned by the bus driver's family. That morning, the bus driver, Andrew Aycock, decided to take a small Beechcraft Bonanza airplane
that was an ugly ass face
for joyrides. Aycock had a pilot's license, though it had expired. He had also been using cocaine. Around 8 a.m., Aycock began taking crew members up for short flights. Randy Rhoads, despite a fear of flying, agreed to go up in the plane. The band's tour manager also boarded for the flight. Ozzy Osbourne was asleep on the tour bus below. As Aycock flew the small plane, he decided to play a dangerous prank. He would buzz the tour bus to wake up Osbourne and the sleeping band members. Aycock made a low pass over the bus. Then he circled and came back for another pass, flying even lower. On the second or third pass, Aycock misjudged his altitude. The plane's left wing clipped the tour bus. The impact sent the aircraft into an uncontrolled spin. The Beechcraft cartwheeled through the air and crashed directly into a nearby mansion, exploding on impact. All 3 people aboard died instantly in the fireball. On the tour bus, Osbourne woke to the sound and impact of the wings striking the vehicle. He initially thought the bus had crashed. When he got outside, he saw the burning mansion and wreckage.
Bro. Dumb ass nigga. Bro, y'all niggas riding airplanes and doing stupid shit like that? Are you fucking serious, bro? That's wild.
Told him Randy was on the plane. Osbourne had lost his best friend and musical collaborator in a pointless prank. The tour was immediately canceled. Rhodes was buried in California, and the rock world mourned a generational talent.
Wait, what?
Rhodes was best friend and musical collaborator. Someone told him Randy was on the plane. Osbourne had lost his best friend and musical collaborator in a pointless prank. The tour was immediately. He got out to this pact. All 3 people aboard died instantly in the fireball. On the tour bus, Osbourne woke to the sound and impact of the wings striking the vehicle. He initially thought the bus had crashed. When he got outside, he saw the burning mansion and wreckage. Someone told him Randy was on the plane. Osbourne had lost his best friend and musical collaborator in a pointless prank. The tour was immediately canceled.
Wait, bro, why did I think that the nigga... Bro, y'all confuse me with these names, bro. I'm not even...
And the rock world mourned a generational talent cut down at 25 by someone else's reckless stupidity. Sophie. On January 30th, 2021, it was just a normal day for 34-year-old Sophie in her third-floor apartment in Athens, Greece. The Scottish musician and producer had become one of the most influential figures in experimental pop music, pioneering the hyperpop genre and producing for artists like Madonna and Charlie XCX. Around 4 a.m., Sophie climbed to the roof of her apartment building. She had brought a camera, intending to photograph the full moon that hung bright over Athens. The moon was particularly luminous that night, and Sophie wanted to capture its beauty. As she moved around the rooftop trying to get the perfect angle for her photograph, Sophie slipped. She fell from the roof, dropping 3 stories to the ground below. Emergency services were called, and she was rushed to a hospital. Doctors worked to treat her injuries, but Sophie died from the trauma of the fall. News of her death spread quickly through the music community. There had been no drugs, no car...
What? Bro, wait. I'm actually fucking confused. So you... Okay.
Crash. No
I'm like, what the hell,
Sophie
bro?
had simply been trying to photograph something beautiful and lost her footing in the dark. Sophie had been intensely private.
Wait, so it was dark up there and you willingly, like... What the... Why would you do that, bro?
Her personal life were scarce. Her death at 34 seemed impossibly young. Tributes poured in from across the music industry. Artists who had worked with her described her genius and kindness. The hyperpop movement she had helped create continued to grow, but without its pioneering architect. Sophie's death highlighted the fragility of life and how quickly everything can end, even for someone reaching for beauty rather than engaging in risky behavior. Ritchie Valens. On February 3rd, 1959, 17-year-old Ritchie Valens was on tour as part of the Winter Dance Party, traveling through the frozen Midwest. Valens had been famous for less than 8 months, but his songs La Bamba and Donna had already made him a star. The tour had been grueling, with long drives on freezing buses through Iowa in the middle of winter. After a show at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa, headliner Buddy Holly decided to charter a small plane to the next tour stop to avoid another miserable bus ride. Holly booked seats for himself and his band members, but Valens desperately wanted a seat on that plane. He approached guitarist Tommy Alsop, who had one of the seats, and begged him for it. Alsop was reluctant. They decided to flip a coin. Valens called heads. The coin came up heads. Valens reportedly said, "That's the first time I've ever won anything in my life." He took the seat on the plane. Shortly after 1 a.m. on February 3rd, the small Beechcraft Bonanza took off from Mason City Airport in a light snowstorm. Aboard were pilot Roger Peterson, Buddy Holly, J.P. Richardson, and Ritchie Valens. Within minutes of takeoff, something went wrong. The plane veered and crashed into a frozen Iowa cornfield. All 4 died instantly on impact. Investigators later determined the pilot...
Bro, if you really think about it, all these little, like, situations have something to do with helicopters and aircrafts and shit like that, bro. So, what I'm basically getting from this is, somebody is sending somebody out to kill these people. Because there's just no way. Like, I know pop stars and rappers and all that, like, they travel a lot by plane and shit, but, bro, why every time they got something to do with an exact aircraft like that, bro?
Disoriented in the
Niggas don't know how to take airplanes or private jets?
The tragedy became known as The Day the Music Died, immortalized in Don McLean's song American Pie. 3 of rock and roll's brightest young stars
Actually, that was a bad thing to say. Maybe those is private jets and I'm tripping, but I'm not sure, bro.
For Ritchie Valens, the coin flip that seemed like good luck had actually sealed his fate. Tommy Alsop, who lost the coin toss and stayed on the bus, lived another 58 years. Elvis Presley. On August 16, 1977, 42-year-old Elvis Presley was at his Graceland mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. The king of rock and roll had been struggling with health problems and prescription drug addiction for years. His weight had ballooned, and he could barely perform. That afternoon, Elvis went into his bathroom. Hours later, around 2:30 p.m., his girlfriend Ginger Alden found him unresponsive on the bathroom floor, face down on the carpet. She called for help immediately. Elvis's road manager and others rushed in and attempted to revive him. An ambulance transported Elvis to Baptist Memorial Hospital, but he was pronounced dead at 3:30 p.m. The initial announcement stated he had died of a heart attack. What emerged later was far more complex and undignified. The autopsy revealed that Elvis's colon was massively enlarged, approximately twice the size of a normal human colon. He had suffered from severe chronic constipation caused by...
I heard about that too. I was just about to say that. They said like it's somebody that even explored his old mansion too, and they say he passed away on that toilet. That's what they tried to say, bro.
Abuse. The strain of attempting to use the bathroom, a physical effort known as the Valsalva maneuver, had likely triggered cardiac arrhythmia and heart failure. Elvis Presley, the most glamorous and successful entertainer in the world, had essentially died straining on the toilet from drug-induced constipation. The toxicology report showed significant levels of multiple prescription drugs in his system, including codeine, Valium, and other medications. His personal physician, Dr. George Nicopolis, had prescribed thousands of pills to Elvis in the months before his death. The world mourned Elvis as a cultural icon, but the medical reality of his death revealed a man who had been slowly killing himself with prescription medications. Tens of thousands of fans descended on Graceland.
Work today
Bro,
is broken.
move your goddamn
Every day,
ass, bro.
people juggle so many different tools.
Elvis was buried there after a funeral attended by celebrities and dignitaries. The bathroom death became tabloid fodder, but it also highlighted the deadly consequences of prescription drug abuse. Whitney Houston. On February 11, 2012, 48-year-old Whitney Houston was staying at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. That evening, the hotel was hosting a pre-Grammy Awards party thrown by music executive Clive Davis, Houston's longtime mentor. Around 3:30 p.m., Houston drew a bath in her fourth-floor suite. She filled the tub with extremely hot water, over 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Houston had cocaine and prescription medications in her system. She lowered herself into the scalding bath water. At some point, Houston lost consciousness. She slipped beneath the water and drowned. When her assistant found her around 3:35
They said somebody
p.m.,
killed her, bro.
Houston
Let's
was
be
face
real.
down in the tub. The assistant called for help. Paramedics arrived and attempted
Cause
resuscitation.
who the fuck just gonna get
but
in?
Whitney Houston
Listen, who the fuck is just gonna get in a like hot water like that? You're gonna turn it down, bro.
was pronounced dead at the scene. The medical examiner determined
They said when
she
they
died
checked the crime scene, bro, the water was hot as shit, and they don't even look like she would actually pour something in there.
from accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use as contributing factors. The water had been so hot it had burned the skin on her back, but Houston had been too intoxicated to feel the pain or pull herself out. The circumstances were grim, but what happened next shocked many.
That's anything, bro.
Houston's body was removed from the hotel room and taken to the coroner's office. That same evening, just hours after her death, Clive Davis's pre-Grammy party proceeded as scheduled in the ballroom downstairs. Davis made a brief statement about Houston's death. Then the party continued with performances and celebration. Whitney Houston's body had been in the building hours earlier, and now guests were drinking champagne in the same hotel. The decision to continue the party drew criticism, though Davis defended it as what Whitney would have wanted. The bathtub death of one of music's greatest voices became another cautionary tale about addiction's deadly grip. Prince. On April 21st, 2016, staff at Paisley Park, Prince's estate and recording complex in Minnesota, found the 57-year-old musician unresponsive in an elevator. Emergency services were called at 9:43 a.m. Paramedics arrived and attempted resuscitation, but Prince was pronounced dead at the scene at 10:07 a.m. The news shocked the world.
They said, what happened to
Emergency
him?
services were called at 9:43 a.m. Paramedics arrived. Prince's estate and recording complex in Minnesota found the 57-year-old musician unresponsive in an elevator. Emergency services were called at 9:43 a.m. Paramedics arrived and attempted resuscitation, but Prince was pronounced dead at the scene at 10:07 a.m.
All right, what
The
happened to
news
him,
shocked
man?
the
What happened to
world.
him?
Prince had just performed shows days earlier and seemed to be in his usual form. The investigation revealed a tragic case of accidental poisoning. Prince had been suffering from severe chronic hip pain, the result of decades of performing in high heels and executing athletic stage moves. He had been taking what he believed were Vicodin pills for the pain. Toxicology results showed Prince had exceedingly high levels of fentanyl in his system. The pills he had been taking were not legitimate Vicodin. They were counterfeit pills manufactured illegally, and pressed with fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 50 times stronger than heroin. Prince had unknowingly been taking fentanyl, believing it was prescription hydrocodone. On April 21st,
Damn.
he took pills that contained a lethal dose. Investigators found similar
See,
counterfeit pills
this is why I barely even take prescription pills, man. You'll never really catch me taking no damn prescription pills, bro.
throughout Paisley Park,
I'm
in
motherfucking
vitamin
stupid.
bottles and other containers. Prince had likely been obtaining them through intermediaries without knowing they were fake.
Actually, I wouldn't even call him stupid. That's disrespectful. Knowing that like he did and shit, and that's how he died. Like that's disrespectful to call him stupid. I would just say like, bro, y'all need to really start checking your pills and shit, bro.
Prince became a victim of the fentanyl
Y'all don't know what they be
crisis
putting in
that
them
was
joints. They be
beginning
trying to
sweep
kill y'all whole
America. He
time.
left no will, and his estate became tied up in
Like, bro, and I just want to tell y'all this too. If the CIA is gonna get to you at one point and they're trying to take you out of something because they know you know too much, bro. Like the one where they're gonna try to get you is your pills, bro. You're over the counter pills at the CVS, whatever you fuck you want to call it, bro.
battles. His death highlighted the deadly danger of counterfeit prescription pills, a problem that has only worsened in subsequent years.
Counterfeit.
If you enjoyed this video,
That's
subscribe
crazy.
for similar
I ain't even
ones,
gonna
and
lie.
feel free to drop suggestions for the next video.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyways, I wouldn't even say I enjoyed this video because I kind of like it really was nothing new to me because I kind of heard about all these death that was in the video. The only one that was really surprising was the TLC one. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember watching that music video. It came on TV when I was like maybe 10 years old or maybe like 8. I don't even remember, but I was one of them ages, gang. I remember seeing that shit. I'm like, damn, I wonder how the fuck she died. You know what I'm saying? I never knew who directly died, but they had that little music video on there. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. It was a little tribute or some shit. They had that one on there, and that would really made me curious. But I never thought to look it up until I seen it in this video, and I'm like, damn, and they got footage? Never knew that. But anyways, we out. We bipping.